boys and girls of grade 4 Orchid. How are we doing today? Alright, I'm glad that everybody is doing fine and everybody is okay. So I am Miss Ravita and today we'll be looking at science. Now our topic for science today is gravity. For today's lesson, we are expected to know what is gravity. We'll be looking at a story that talks about gravity. We'll be looking at the effects of gravity. We'll be experimenting and doing demonstrations on gravity on objects, and also we'll be doing a paper and pencil quiz. So you need to pay attention and ask questions. Okay class, so to begin our lesson today, teachers will come around to your group. You have been placed into 3 groups and we are going to be looking at the story. She's going to share out the laptop. Okay class, let's read a story about gravity, and this story is written by Miss Ravita. Hello boys and girls, today I would like to tell you a story about how gravity came about and why it's important, so get ready. There was a professor by the name of Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton discovered gravity when he saw a falling apple while thinking about the forces of nature. Isaac Newton was sitting under an apple tree when an apple fell on his head, which made him wonder why it fell to the ground. Gravity is a force of attraction that pulls together all matter. Earth's gravity is what keeps you on the ground and what causes objects to fall. The more matter something has, the greater the force of its gravity. That means really big objects like planets and stars have a stronger gravitational pull. Objects would simply float away if gravity did not exist on Earth. Gravity is what holds our Earth together. The sun's gravity keeps Earth in orbit around it, keeping us at comfortable distance to enjoy the sun's light and warmth. I hope it was fun learning about gravity. Remember, gravity is very important to our daily life. The end. Okay class, how many of you enjoyed that short story on gravity? Alright, I see many hands up. Now that we have seen the story and heard the story, my question is, what is gravity? Yes, Jake? Jake said gravity is a force. Yes, Mary. Mary said gravity makes things fall to the earth. Alright, so thank you for your answers, class. You are all correct. A teacher asked the other question. Who discovered gravity? George said Isaac Newton. So Isaac Newton was the man who discovered gravity. Very good, children. Okay class, so now that we know what is gravity and who discovered gravity, let's now look at our chart. Okay class, so now we're going to read our chart on effects of gravity. Let's read effects of gravity. Our chart here is talking about what effect gravity has on the earth. Now let's look here. The sun's gravitational force keeps Earth and the other planets in orbit around the sun. Now to help us better understand what this is saying, let's look at the picture. So we have a picture here of the solar system, and because of the gravitational force of the sun, it is keeping all of these planets here in its orbit. Now let's look at the second picture here. Gravity keeps us from floating away. Do you see the boy and everything around him is floating away? If gravity does not exist on the planet Earth, we would be floating in space. Now none of us are not floating up right now, and that is because of gravity. Our current picture. The tides in the oceans are controlled by the gravitational forces of the earth and its moon. Get high tide, spring tide, and the water level goes in and out because of the gravitational forces. And we see a picture here with a low tide, high tide. Okay class, so now that we would have looked at what is gravity and the effects of gravity on the earth, we'll now do a demonstration to show us the effects gravity has on objects. Okay class, so teacher is going to demonstrate the effects of gravity on several objects. So first, let's look at our simple demonstration using paper clip, string, and a piece of skewer. So I want everyone to look at what teacher has in her hand. Right? Now teacher is going to swing this skewer. She's going to swing it forward. And I want you to observe what is happening. Now teacher is going to swing it backward now. Okay, what do you see happening? What is gravity doing to the paper clip? Go ahead, Elizabeth. Gravity is pulling the paper clips down. Yes, and we see that all the paper clips is not going up. It's not going to the side. It is going down. Gravity is acting on these paper clips right now. And if we swing it back or forward, the paper clips will still come down because gravity is acting on all three of them. Okay, let's look at our next experiment. Second demonstration. Teacher has a spoon and she has a matchbox. Now I'm going to put all two objects, I'm going to make it level, and then teacher is going to drop these objects. So I want you to pay attention, look closely. Now, from that observation there, which one of the objects fell faster or was the first object to fall? Which one of the objects fell faster? Go ahead, Cindy. Cindy said both of them. So teacher wants you to look carefully at what is happening. One object is light and one object is heavy. And I'll pass it around so you can feel the object's mass. Okay, so now that I would have passed around these items, you can tell that the spoon is heavier, isn't that so? So when we drop the spoon along with the matchbox together, both of them are landing at the same time. So as we throw down the matchbox and the spoon, they will land at the same time because gravity is acting on both of these objects. I want you to look at a third demonstration now. This involves a pack of Play-Doh and a feather. Now teacher is going to drop the feather and the Play-Doh at the same time, and I want you to observe what is happening. Now what happened there? Go ahead. Henry said he see the feather take longer to go down. Good. Now many of you would have observed that the feather took a longer time to go to the ground, and that is because the feather is light. It has a larger contact surface and air resistance is acting on the feather. So that is why the feather took a while to land down. Class, now the teacher would have demonstrated using the objects. Now it is your turn. You are going to each get some items and material, and you are going to have to test those materials to see which one fell faster. Class, so now teacher is going to come around with the materials, and I'm going to put it on each table. So each group is going to get their own materials. Okay class, now teacher is going to come around with activity sheets that each group is going to collect, and you are going to fill this activity sheet out as you do your experiment. Into group 1, these are the numbers here of how many times you have to conduct the experiment. So you have to do 5 little experiments in your group with 2 different sets of objects, your object 1 and your object 2. When you are finished, you then put in your results in the results table. Coming to group 2 now. Group 2, you are given your result sheet and you have to draw. So you have 5 little experiments you have to do. You have your object 1, your object 2. Now you have to use 2 objects at the same time, drop them, and whatever results you get, you're going to write it in the results column. And you are drawing that material. Okay, coming to group 3. Group 3, you are given your activity sheet and you have to also do 5 little experiments. You have your object 1, object 2, and your results. And whatever object you use, you're going to put it and paste it on top of your activity sheet. Okay class, so time is up for the activity. Teacher is going to come around and she's going to check your results and we're going to share them with the class. Okay, coming to group 1 to check the results. So group 1's paper is saying that they did use the stone and the matchbox, and you would have indicated that both materials landed at the same time. Very good, job well done. Let's show the class. Let's give group 1 a little clap. Very good. Coming to group 2. So group 2 was given a task to draw their objects. So group 2 object, the first one that they used was the balloon and the eraser. And group 2, what did you interpret as your result? You said that both objects landed at the same time. Okay, very good group 2. Class, group 2's work. Let's give them a little clap. Very good group 2. Coming to group 3. So group 3, you were tasked with pasting your objects on top of your result sheet. So you would have pasted the feather and the bottle. And we see here that you have in the results feather. Why did you write feather? Because the feather took longer to fall. Okay, very good. Let me show the class. This is what group 2, 3 did, class. Very good. Let's give them a clap. So class, now we would have concluded our activity and our experiment. How many of you enjoyed that? Very good. Give yourselves a little clap. Very good, class. Now we'll do our paper and pencil test. So take out your pencils and get ready. Teacher is coming around and she's bringing the quiz paper. So please pass the paper. Everyone is getting their own paper. Alright, class. So teacher is going to guide you through the quiz very quick. Teacher is going to guide you through the quiz. Let's go. So as teacher is calling the question, you will write in your answer. Question 1. What is gravity? Question 2. List one effect of gravity. True and false section. Question 3. Gravity is very important to our everyday life. Is that a true statement? Is that a false statement? Question 4. The moon has no gravity. Is that false or is that true? The last true and false question. The more mass an object has, the faster it will fall. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? We have a matching section. We have the words gravitational force, gravity, Isaac Newton. Number 6, the sun's something keeps planets in their orbit. The sun's what? Put your answers in. Question 7, something discovered gravity. Something discovered gravity. Question 8, something keeps the moon in orbit around the earth. So you're using those 3 answers and putting them in. There's going to give you 1 minute more to ensure you have all your answers in. Class, so teacher would have given you time to complete your quiz. Everyone add up your score. Okay, give yourselves a little clap. Teacher will review your papers after the class. Okay, class. So let us recap our lesson. So teacher is going to ask, what is gravity? Go ahead, Mark. Mark said gravity is a force of attraction. What about Cindy? Cindy said gravity makes things fall down. Okay, you are all correct. The second question is, what is 2 effects gravity has on the earth? Go ahead, Mary. Mary said gravity keeps us from floating away. Is she correct, class? She is correct. Okay, let's ask Jasmine. Jasmine, what's another effect of gravity? Jasmine said that gravity helps to keep the other planets in line. Good, very good. She is correct, class. I hope everyone enjoyed today's lesson. How many of you enjoyed today's lesson? I see many smiling faces and hands up in the air. Very good, children. I'm very proud of everyone. So before we go today, we are going to look back at our story. This book is called The Story About Gravity by Miss Ravita. Isaac Newton was sitting under an apple tree when an apple fell on his head, which made him wonder why it fell to the ground. Gravity is a force of attraction that pulls together all matter. Earth's gravity is what keeps you on the ground and what causes objects to fall. The more matter something has, the greater the force of its gravity. That means really big objects like planets and stars have a stronger gravitational pull.